and a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. I am so happy to be here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and to be here with you. I thank you so much for your patience here as we got set and ready to go on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. So thank you so much for being here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Like I said, inside the Cafe Kubal studios, Cafe Kubal with locations all throughout central and upstate New York. You can get to Cafe Kubal today by going to 3501 James Street, 208 North Townsend Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. And we were at the South Salina Street location yesterday for my Tortora Squared special featuring my little sis, Miss Fran Tortora, following her signing to the Stony Brook Seawolves D1 women's lacrosse team. So signing there from our community, born and raised in Central New York, playing at CNS. Just helped CNS win their first sectional championship for girls lacrosse in 24 years. So really super proud of Fran, and we got to do that special yesterday. You could check it out on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. You can also check it out in two parts on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. That's facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. And that's one of the places that you're watching and listening right now. And inside of these Cafe Kubal studios, like I was saying about the locations, there's a couple more places you can go to for Cafe Kubal. You can go to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. You can go to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse for Sweetheart Corners, drive-through location of Cafe Kubal. You can go inside of Galisanos Children's Hospital, and you can now get Cafe Kubal with your breakfast, lunch, and or dinner at PB&J's Lunchbox on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. So make sure you go over to PB&J's Lunchbox when you're getting some of their favorite creations when it comes to meals. You can grab some Cafe Kubal. So Cafe Kubal now proudly served at PB&J's Lunchbox. So a lot of great places to get Cafe Kubal. Make sure you go out and get some of that today. And inside of today's broadcast on Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, Facebook.com/livenowdt, as well as YouTube.com/wakeupcalldt, and of course on MixLR.com/wakeupcalldt, and on the homepage of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora's main site there, wakeupcalldt.com. You can go ahead and watch and listen from any of these avenues, and we appreciate everybody that does so. Today's show is packed with goodness, and I'm always excited for what's coming up on our Wednesday shows. You know, Wednesday is Dolphin time. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time is Dolphin time. So to start off today's broadcast, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora will be featuring a very proud and a very happy Dolphin dive featuring Luke Sutherland. Luke Sutherland, who won a New York State championship with the West Genesee Wildcats, the first ever for West Genesee boys basketball. Luke will be joining me in just a few minutes for our special to speak on his story from going to West Genesee to getting recruited D1 to making the decision to go to Siena despite the fact that there was a coaching change, then going over and transferring to Bryant, not playing but being in the Dome last season during the COVID pandemic when no fans were there, and I got to see Luke there on the Bryant team with Charles Pride, who came from Liverpool, and Luke did not play that season, and then we got to see him make a transition to LeMoyne, and making that transition to LeMoyne, he got injured in the exhibition game back in the Dome, just where he was a year ago, back in the Dome, this time for an exhibition, LeMoyne against Syracuse. He gets hurt, and we thought it was more serious than it was. Thank God that it wasn't. And now Luke will be able to make his return very, very soon. And I'm ecstatic about it. So Luke's going to be joining us in just a little bit. And I'm very excited for the opportunity to share that with you inside of our Dolphin Dive special with Luke Sutherland, who is a West Genesee state champion, onto Siena, onto Bryant, and back here in the community to LeMoyne with 3 seasons of eligibility. So it's almost like he never left. And it's almost like he just got recruited out of West Genny, and we're getting started here. So with everything that's gone on and all the adversity that Luke has faced, it still feels like he's got a full collegiate career ahead of him. And God willing, he will have an amazing one, a healthy one, and a happy one, and a safe one. So with that being said, Luke's going to join us in a second. And after that, of course, every single Wednesday is fantasy football time from 9:45 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time here inside of the Fantasy Football Extended Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Open 7 days a week for your dining pleasure, and of course, open for you for takeout and delivery by calling 315-487-2222. That's 315-487-2222 for the Wildcats. So make sure you give them a call, and we will be very excited today to bring you our thoughts on Week 14 of fantasy football. A lot of you may be stepping into your fantasy playoffs right now. We're going to help you get ready for that, and we're very excited for the opportunity to go game by game, team by team, and let you know who we suggest that you play as you go into Week 14 of fantasy football. So make sure you're tuning in, asking your questions about your specific team so that we can help you specifically, and we'll do all we can to help get you set and ready for what's coming up this week. And many thanks and much love to everybody who watches and is a part of our fantasy football. I love the questions. I love the interaction. So make sure that you join us here from 9:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. this morning for our fantasy football coverage with Mike Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com and of our joint page, Winning Fantasy Football, on Facebook. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will have the special right here with Luke Sutherland of West Genesee history and now of the LeMoyne Dolphins. Wednesdays at 9 a.m., Dolphin time. And that Dolphin time starts right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. During Dolphin time every Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Dolphin Dive comes to you every second and fourth Wednesday of each month right here at 9 a.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and of course you can get it on the LeMoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. My guest that I have for this edition of Dolphin Dive is no stranger. He has been on my show at West Genesee. He's been on my show with Sienna, been on my show with Bryant, and he's now on my show at LeMoyne. So I have one guest that has been featured on 4 different school shows. So welcome to the broadcast again, Luke.
Appreciate it.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. And I also got to do the exclusive first interview when you committed to the LeMoyne, and you gave me the opportunity to do that. I asked you if I could be the first, and you said, would it be any different than anything else?
Right, yeah.
So before we start with anything, I want to say, over these years, thank you for being loyal to me and just always making sure that I'm a part of what's going on. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. And I appreciate you taking part in being active and kind of following us. And I appreciate that too.
And Luke has gotten taller as time has gone on, and I stayed at 5'8". So before we go anywhere into the LeMoyne world, to come back to the community that you won a state championship in has got to mean something really special to you.
No, for sure. And at least being in Syracuse, it's allowed me kind of like even get in touch with Coach Kent and just kind of even in that sense kind of be in touch with West Genesee again. And obviously what we did there is super special to all of us who were involved. So it's definitely awesome being back home and being around this environment.
To go through sectionals and win a state championship, the last 19 months, a lot of teams couldn't play in sectionals. They couldn't play in states. They were maybe in states and had to call it off. So knowing that you got to play in sectionals, play in state championships, win a state championship, to do that in your time and then to see how some kids, not because they lost games, but because of a pandemic that nobody was prepared for, just what it means to you and maybe how much more special it was knowing that it can be taken away.
Because we funny enough, when we were talking about this not too long ago, it's just like, because that championship run was probably one of my favorite memories to do with basketball. And we were thinking, like, if that got cut from us, like, what that season it wouldn't have been as important to us, if, you know what I mean? So being able to at least experience that and have that, I mean, that's something we still share and talk about to this day with a lot of those teammates. Like, we stay in touch and we talk about that. We'll talk about that forever. So, and just like to be able to have that and understand that the kids recently haven't been able to have it, it's upsetting because I know how important it was to us, and I wish other people got to experience that too.
Could you ever have imagined being in a situation like that where it's a team that gets to, I spoke with my cousin, Dan Tortora, who's moving on to play D1 lacrosse, and they played sectionals and there were no states. So she said, we never know how far we could have gone. could you have even, and when you look back on it, knowing that you won a state championship, if it stopped at sectionals, now looking back on it, having known what could have happened, if you went back in time, do you feel like if that was you, that you would have felt like something was stolen from you?
I think for sure, because I knew after we won that sectional championship, and as you know, Coach Kent's thing was day by day, so we didn't really look too far ahead of the future, and just being able to accomplish what we did was really awesome. But like you said, I think if that was taken from us, it would have been a lot of questions for us, and it would have been really unsatisfying if that got stripped from us.
So you win a state title, the first ever in West Genesee history for the Wildcats. That banner will always be yours. And as I've told you, I've never left an ACC tournament early. And I left the ACC tournament a few days in, it was a couple days in, because I didn't go to the semis or the championship, I think. I left it only because I gave you all my word that if you won, I would follow you through. That if the team got there, that I would go. So for the women's team and the men's team, the girls and boys team, I said young men, young women. But I went out with West Jenny. I literally flew home, got my car at Syracuse Hancock Airport, drove straight to Binghamton for you. Then I went home, went to Albany for the girls, then went back to Binghamton for you. Then I went home, and then I went to Albany, and then I went home. So, to see you both play in the championship, it's one of the greatest times of my life. I don't regret anything. I hope the ACC understood. But the reality of it all was, I told you guys I'd be there. And coming home, leaving the ACC tournament, coming to see you was like the greatest feeling in the world, because I knew all of you, and I knew that sitting there and watching the game, it was so different for me, because I'm sitting there looking at the faces of guys, Christian and Will and you and John and Cam and all that, and I'm seeing this team of just guys that I had been doing interviews with for a couple of years, and especially you and I, we had done them from really the beginning. So to me, it wasn't like you're just watching a team. I was watching something I felt a part of. And after you guys won, to have that moment, to be on the court with you and Will, and then I'll never forget Fred putting his arm around me, and I said, "Do you feel it yet?" And he started laughing, and he goes, "Well, this is your championship too." And I was like, "No, it's not. I didn't do anything." He's like, "You were with us." And I think that team for me is like a Mighty Ducks team. Like, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, no, because like you said, like every bit of moment, it was like almost more surreal than it was. Kind of like it was really hard to kind of capture the moment.
Yeah.
And when it finally happened, I mean, you know, the first embrace, like everyone was on the court, and me and Will saw you. We ran over to you because it was just like, it was like you said, like from the beginning, you were there from our first years to our last. So like you kind of saw our development and just like how important everything that meant, and just for you to at least see us kind of grow up through that system. I mean, it was definitely one of those situations that, I mean, like I said, I'll never forget.
So, did you miss me that much? That's why you came back?
Of course. Of course.
So, coming back to LeMoyne, you and I, like I said, we did the exclusive first interview on the why. Now that you've been here, what's it been like for you to be back in the community?
I love it. Like, this fit could not be better. And just in terms of the basketball, the school, and especially the area, being able to see my family, and just the balance of everything is just perfect right now. And I honestly couldn't be happier right now.
Mom and Dad would go to see you anywhere. The fact that they are going, I don't even know, maybe 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I gotta imagine that they like being inside 10 grand court.
No, 100%. Because my dad's the traveler, so he does a lot of the driving. So at least my dad now, like you said, not even having to drive that far. I mean, it's definitely, he loves it. My parents love it just as much as I do.
What was it about Nate Champion and his message that made you want to play for him?
He understood the circumstances that I was going through in the last couple of years. He understood kind of what it took to win, and it's a winning program. And he was relatable. He's a player's coach. Like he really took the time to build a relationship and have me understand that this is like going to be a really good place for me, and at least have me be able to perform to my ability, and at the end of it all, win games, and that's a lot of the reason why I chose to come.
And including this season, how much time do you have? So, like, as far as season-wise, eligibility.
Yeah. So I have this year and then 2 others. So I have 3 years including this one.
Because I remember when we talked, I thought you said that you had 3, and it was really unique because you were at Siena, then you went to Bryant, but you weren't out there. Mm-hmm. And so you had that extra time, so it's important for people to know that you essentially have it's almost like you just came out of high school.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm a sophomore eligibility wise right now. So.
Yeah, so you have a sophomore eligibility. You're going to have a doctorate by the time you're done.
Yeah.
There's 16 degrees, but it's so cool to see you back here in the community. When you left Siena and Bryant, that were D1, to come to a D2 school, and I don't view LeMoyne as D2 when it comes to talent and capability and facilities and whatnot. But when you made that decision, did you think about that at all? That it was a different division?
It's like I said, even Coach Champ, he elaborated a lot on this. Like I think this team right here is beating a lot of Division I teams, and I'm very confident in saying that. I've played a lot of those teams up at that level, and I promise you that this team, talent-wise, like you said, is not lacking at all. And when it came to the choice, it was kind of a no-brainer because, like I said, it's a competitive school, and we want to win games, and we want to win championships here, and that's exactly what LeMoyne's going to do, and that's what we're going to do in the future.
Most of this team had never played a game in a LeMoyne jersey because they had spent over a year off the court. So Nino Hernandez comes back, and the majority of the team had not played, whether they transferred in or fresh, whatever. What has it been like to be on a team that's really learning to play together for the first time?
Especially at this point of the year, I think you've seen it. Like we have games where we're learning a lot. Like we have a couple losses at this point, and each loss we take something new. And last night we're coming off a really big win against a really good Damon team, and I think a lot of the stuff that we were talking about clicked in that game. And it's just more so right now is just getting prepared for that end of the season. Like every single day, every single game, we got to learn. And like you said, we've never played with each other, so it's a different experience every day. And the goal is just to get really comfortable with playing with each other, and eventually it's going to click, and you're going to see the team that we know we can be.
Who has challenged you the most of your teammates out there?
I see that's how you know you have a good culture. You know what I mean? Like, because when you go out and practice and everyone's pushing each other, and I think at times we can be more competitive, but I think right now we all do a really good job of making sure that we're giving everything we got. Like we understand what's at stake, we know what we all want to do, and just because of that, everyone's kind of pushing each other to be their best selves.
You've had to wait because you had this unique circumstance of playing in the dome, which is also something that you weren't not accustomed to. So you from high school and whatnot. So you come back, you play in the dome, you have this opportunity, and you're in an exhibition between LeMoyne and Syracuse, and you get hurt.
Yeah.
And when you got hurt, everybody kind of had a gasp, and there was this thought of, could he be out the season? Bring me into that moment in the dome, knowing like I'm finally back in the community. I'm going to play again. This is my third college or university that I've been to. I've tried to find the right fit, and here this happens. I mean, you had to have felt in that moment like, God, why?
Yeah.
I guess.
No, because I said that to our trainer Dave, who's awesome. He's done a lot with our rehab, and I said it in the moment. I think when it happened, it wasn't so much that I was in pain. It was just more like disappointment. Like I was just more upset at the fact that it felt like at the time I couldn't catch a break, and it was just the timing of it couldn't have, could have been a better time to do that if it was going to happen, but. It's like you said, everything kind of happens for a reason, and I'm not going to question what happened. I'm just kind of, the only thing you can do is get better from it. So I believe in God's plan, and here we are. And luckily, I'll be able to kind of get back on the court pretty soon at this point. So, I mean, it's just at this point, just improving every day, and just not taking any moment for granted.
The original thought was not good. Bring me into the why, God, why, which quickly, I think, turned into, for you, oh my goodness, it's not that bad. I'm going to be able to play this season.
Yeah.
Like, it went from something not so great to kind of a blessing, even in some adversity.
Yeah, for sure. It's like any injury. When it happens, you always sit there and it's like, oh, like, why does this have to happen? What's going on here? And obviously in the moment, it was not the best time for it to happen, and especially like you said, I was just kind of getting my feet, under me, and I was really having fun, and then it ended up happening. And after kind of getting the results, I found out how bad the injury could have been versus what it was, and then it kind of more changed to like why now to more like, okay, like this is what happened. It could have been this. Like it's more like I should just be happy that it's as minor as it is right now, and just kind of like I said, just focus on getting better and focus on getting back on the court and understanding that it could have been much more severe. So.
You still have not played in your first LeMoyne game that counts.
Yeah.
So what are you most looking forward to?
I can't wait to get out there and compete with these guys. And we fight every night. Like, I mean, every game we do. I mean, granted there are some lapses, but I think we have yet to show our best selves. And I just can't wait to get on the court and figure that out and just compete and just win some games. I can't wait.
And we're speaking here with you on Wednesday, December 8th. and we're going to be able to see you very soon.
Yes, sir.
Christmas come early. So what are you excited about with the fact that before Christmas, by the grace of God, we will see you in a LeMoyne jersey in a game that counts?
It's just, I think I've spent this whole preseason, like I said, I've been really excited to be able to play back in this community and just kind of be home. And now that it's coming up on it, I can't wait. It's going to be definitely one of those. It's going to be definitely one of those fun moments for me.
2020 hindsight, why was LeMoyne just the right spot?
Just like I said, it was home, everything about it, the basketball. I mean, just being able to kind of play the sport that I love in the city that I grew up in, and being around family and friends, and just having that support base. It just made sense. Like no other option would have made sense.
What did you learn from the road, from West Jenny to Siena to Bryant to LeMoyne? What did you learn in your travels?
Just you got to trust the process. Man. I mean, the work will speak for itself, and when it decides to present itself, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And this game has a tendency of rewarding those who work pretty hard. So I'd like to think that along the whole journey, I've kept my head, and although there's been lots of ups and downs through the whole thing, you got to keep your head on straight and just keep working, regardless of what the situation or circumstance is. Like it's up to you to kind of change your opportunity, and luckily I've been blessed to do it here. So,
including this season, 3 years of eligibility. So essentially, we never lost Luke in our community. It's a good thing. From West Jenny all the way back here to Central New York again. It's so good to have you back. And I feel so spoiled because now I can drive 15 minutes and watch you just like I could at West Jenny.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, it's good to be back. It's good to be having these again. You know what I mean? It's good talking to you again, and it just, like I said, it feels like West Jenny again. So I mean, it's comfortable. I'm happy, and it couldn't be better.
Is Coach Kent going to be coming out here when he can and rocking some Dolphin gear?
100%. I mean, he'd have to at this point because I get on him because like we've kept a real good relationship throughout the year. So he'll definitely be at a lot of the games he can make for sure.
Where is my ring? Are we talking
Listen,
about
I thought you got to talk to Coach Kent about that one. I'm not in charge of the financial stuff over there, but Coach Kent's your guy for that one.
So final piece here, as you get set to go to practice, we're going to do a little bit of rapid fire. We'll do a couple of pieces because I know you got to get to it. I'll let you go first.
Oh. Okay, so I know I asked this one before, but it's been a little bit since we talked. What is your favorite sports moment that you've got to experience?
Oh, man, probably, and it's great that you asked this because it just happened. I would say coming off this past weekend, I went to Cincinnati, Ohio for the first time, and I've covered the American Athletics since its institution, and in like 2012, 2013 time, and so I've been with them before they had a logo, before they had a name. I got to see Cincinnati. I have pushed for Cincinnati all year long to get in the college football playoff. I pushed for them last year to be in it. I was at the Peach Bowl the first day of this year, January 1st, 2021, to watch them. They fought Georgia all the way to the bitter end. Georgia had to kick a last-second field goal to win from the SEC. And so this year, I just hoped and I pushed and I went down and I said, I want to be there. And they got it. The next day, I'm flying home. I see it on my phone that they got chosen finally to be in the college football playoff. The American Athletic did it. Cincinnati did it. And I spent time on the field. I broadcasted from the field. The coolest things I got to do, obviously talk to Luke Fickell, who I've known from the beginning. And outside of that, to be on the field, be on the 50-yard line, take pictures, shoot video, take some of the confetti, put my hand on the field, and touch like the Cincinnati logo, the American logo, everything there. And then after that, almost everybody had left the arena. There was only staff and media, and I sat in the bleachers. I sat in silence under the stars for a little while. So,
That's awesome.
Something I get to tell my kids.
100%.
Really awesome. Really fun. Sports has given me more than I could have ever asked for. So with that being said, my first question for you, Luke, is what has been your greatest achievement in this last couple of years of adversity? What do you consider your greatest achievement?
I think just sticking to the plan. You know what I mean? I think I pride myself on being a high-spirited individual. You know what I mean? I think that, like I said earlier, I think everything happens for a reason, and just for me I'm most proud of myself kind of sticking through a lot of the stuff that didn't go my way. And a lot of people, I mean, regardless of the fact they say, oh, you went here, you went there, they're going to have opinions on what made me make the decisions. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with my decisions, and I think that what I did was best for me. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's all you can really do. You know what I mean? So I think for me, it'd definitely be just kind of sticking through the ups and downs and just staying true to myself and believing in myself.
And Ted Grant Court, I'm excited for the Luke chant to come out when Luke plays and he hits a shot, gets a block, grabs a rebound, whatever happens here. When it sounds like boo, but it's not. It's Luke. I want to hear that in Ted Grant Court. I might be doing it by myself. I'm fine with it. If I start it, I'm going to do it. You'll hear me out here. And it's funny because a few games ago, I sat right behind here, and obviously I see you because I always know where you're at, and I respect you and appreciate you like family. So I see my little brother hanging out, and I'm thinking like everybody's in game mode, and then at one point in the huddle, you looked up and you were like, so I appreciate that as always. And I'm spoiled now that I have that. What's your last one for me?
Okay, this is different, unsports related, but out of all the places you travel, what is your favorite food, do you think?
Oh man, I would have to say Memphis barbecue.
Wow.
Sticks out to me so much. Memphis barbecue is fantastic. And is that what I want to pick for sure? Yeah, probably. That's the thing that's like, because I'm chasing it now.
Yeah.
And I might, like, if I get the opportunity to go to Dallas and some other places, I might be looking for, but Memphis barbecue's done me right. And an egg everything bagel on Long Island. Lexi Petritis can speak on this, who was on Dolphin Dive. But an egg everything bagel with walnut raisin cream cheese from Long Island. Only Long Island. So good. So we're gonna stay with food here. What is like when you go home for some home cooking? Do you get to go home a lot now to get some food?
So I know where you're going with this. It's an easy answer.
Okay.
Easy answer. So my grandma, right?
Yeah.
We call her Nana from Italy. You know what I mean? That whole thing. She makes a homemade pasta and sauce.
Yeah.
It's undefeated.
So she makes the pasta.
Everything's from scratch, and every time that I'm home, that's where we're best there is.
I love how you said G-Ma because my mom's mom, I called her G-Mama. So she was the best at making so many things, including her stuffed shells. So homemade sauce. She hated pasta, but she made incredible pasta. She never taste tested though.
Really?
It's crazy. She made brujol, she made meatballs, everything. So that being said, in this edition of Dolphin Dive, I just wanted to have the opportunity to officially welcome back this guy to the court, to Central New York, to college basketball. Luke Sutherland is going to get to play again. God, watch over this man. Let him play these next 3 years out and have a great time. So proud of you. I know I love you. I'm happy for you. I could not want somebody else to get on the court more than outside of like myself getting to play. I want you to be on Dive. Check it out every second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call in our multimedia marketing partnership. For now on YouTube, Facebook, and all of our channels. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We're hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. Love having you here. Love having you be here with us. And we are going to end this video, start a new video, so that you can be connected with us in our fantasy football coverage. So we're going to do exactly that. Everybody that's been on here watching our LeMoyne Dolphin special, Dolphin Dive with Luke Sutherland, thank you so much. For those of you on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, we're going to end this video, start a new video, so please follow us.